Raceway.
That is. It stayed in the air forever. This is going to be the best shot tracer in the world. Everyone gets excited playing a new golf course for the first time, but you're probably going to throw away 4 or 5 shots in a round because you're unfamiliar with the course, unless you have this cheat code. The whole point of today is, what is it that players like you see in a golf course that I don't see playing for the first time? You'll get some specific insights on what to look for.
I think for first timers coming to any golf course, you want to kind of enjoy yourself, right?
Or how to use your senses.
My dad always told me, aim small, miss small, right?
How to read what the architect is trying to do to you, and do it all with a strategy that helps you save those 4 or 5 shots playing on a new course. You will see examples of feeling the course, finding your valley, dialing the green speed, and finding the tricks, all in this video. We start by getting the cheat code from Christian Heavens, big break star, winner of more than 24 pro events, and a Phoenix area resident who can get me around a Phoenix Muni Classic, Papago Golf Course.
Anywhere else.
When I'm looking out here, all I see is par 5 green, probably 15 degrees to my right, so a little dogleg right. And I'm guessing that peak right there, like that's over by Tempe, right?
Correct. Yeah.
All right, I'm guessing that is the left side of the fairway.
Right, that's the furthest left. So,
Okay.
And you can also see the peak of that bunker there, which we can shoot that, but I'm pretty sure that's in play.
Okay.
So just the left side of that, and then that peak is your fairway.
It's gonna run through the desert. What do you think? What are you gonna have me do?
We're not getting there in 2, so we're just trying to get in position for the next shot. I'm a big fan of getting it as close to the hole as possible. So it looks like going towards where that tall tree is, that palm tree, no more than 230 yards, right? Okay. And you want to just kind of be on that left center of the fairway. And I think that'll leave you a good shot in.
Okay. What about that palm tree to the right of it? So basically like dead over the center of
Yeah,
that
I like
bunker.
that. That's fine. Perfect.
Okay.
No, that's
all right.
especially with the wind blowing a little
Love
right
it.
to left. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's right. That X height is hot.
Yes, sir. Okay.
That's right at the tree.
Yeah. That's kind of good. You got a favorite wedge yardage?
I would say 70.
Okay.
Yeah, like 75, 70, 75. My stock wedge, I like that a lot too, like 100 yards.
Yeah.
What about you? You kind of work that?
I'm trying. I think I was actually trying to get too much out of my wedges, right?
Right.
So ultimately, I'm about 90 on my lob wedge.
Okay.
And I've spent a lot of years trying to hit it 100 yards.
Right. No.
It's not a 100-yard club.
Yeah.
I got a solid number. It's a 90.
Yeah.
Let's roll with it.
So I did work a long time when I first turned pro, like really dialing in my wedges and trying to figure out my distance control. Yeah. And I found out where my kind of 9 o'clock, I did the clock system, like my 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock swing. So I sat on the back of the range and just hit that for like hours, right? Yeah. Found that number turned out to be 70. Yeah. And then I went on to add an hour to the backswing, and that gave me an extra 10 yards. But that 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, that's my solid 70. Like I know that's going to be 70 forever. So that's how I found that number. I really like that number.
Okay.
I got you at 97 here. 97? So this is that 100 we were talking about. 90 won't quite get it there, but.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why I got 14 clubs.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Easy.
So sand wedge, any trouble behind?
No, so this hole's kind of tricky. You want to land it short.
Okay.
This is where it takes a little knowledge. The hole runs away from you.
Okay.
So landing it right around 90 wouldn't be terrible.
All right. So instead of hitting the full 90 though, I'm just gonna try to hit it.
Take more. And swing, yeah.
Take more and just ease it back there.
I like that. Oh, it's right at. Land soft. Land soft.
I think it's okay.
That looks pretty good. Still rolling, but.
Is it really?
Yeah, it just ran off the back, but that was pretty good.
Okay. This is one clearly ain't nobody chipping this. This is
This is putt every day, all day.
Well, the crazy thing is, I caddy out at Silverleaf and I with some of the amateurs, and they're like, "Can I putt this?" And I'm like, "It's not against the rules to putt. Like, you can putt from wherever, and I recommend you do it more times than not from like within 15, 20 feet of the green." So this is definitely, you're putting this all day. Back uphill, this is one of those places that has like that valley effect. So everything kind of breaks like towards there, so it's going to be definitely a little slower.
So literally, the guy at the guy in the parking lot, the first thing he said to me was, "Everything comes off of those buttes, and just roll
that way."
Once you get to the high points of the golf course, like on the first or second hole, you kind of look back and you can see that tilt as you described, going back in that direction, and things roll that way. If you're heading to the south on greens, the ball's going to definitely roll faster or move that way on a left to right or right to left putt.
Geese, you came to the right. You came to the right place today.
Oh, that's pretty good speed, dog.
All right. I mean, an
give
easy
that to
five.
you. That's good. I'll give that to you.
All right. I would hear people talk about the concept of weight on a putt,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
Right.
But like that last putt was actually weight. I was trying to push it
Yeah.
uphill to the, to the hole.
Yeah.
That was it.
No, absolutely. And it was perfect. I mean, that's one of the more important things. Well, that is the most important thing, is speed. I didn't learn that until I turned professional.
Yeah.
Started practicing around professional golfers and started doing drills. And basically all the drills we did outside of 12 feet was based off of speed. Even inside of 3 or inside of like 5 feet, speed's important on those putts that break a lot, right? You got to match the line with the speed. So weight is that's number one. You got to grind that in. That's it.
The quest for the cheat code for first-timers took us 80 miles northwest of Papago to Wickenburg Ranch, where their general manager has traveled the world running elite golf courses, giving him a unique perspective on what golfers need to feel on a new course.
I would say visually adapt your eyes to what you're seeing. A lot of our tee boxes present those downhill perspectives. So being an elevated tee box to the fairway. So does a couple things, right? Distorts obviously how wide the fairways actually are, and then depth perception as well.
It's interesting that you talk about eyes, because golfers tend to forget that they're using all of their senses. 100%. How do you use your senses on a golf course?
Absolutely. I use my senses mainly with where we attach ourselves to this course, which is through our feet, right, into the ground, eyes, and then just feeling the wind, which is very prevalent out here.
Walk me through what we see here, because this is pretty spectacular way to start, and you can just see how everything you talked about in terms of the framing of things. Your eyes want. Well, here, I'm just going to look at it right here, right? So my eyes are naturally attracted right.
Yes.
Like everything is sloping right, and so my eyes are trying to take me right, and you know what that is? That's the trouble, isn't it?
100%.
Right? And so that's a little bit left, but that should be okay, right? I should be in that bunker. So what do you think? You think I've got something in the neighborhood of 180?
I would say 180 is comfortable.
Yeah.
If that gets you to the front portion, segment of the green, you're going to be perfectly fine there.
Okay.
One thing you don't want to do here on this course is go long.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So 175, maybe the wind's not helping. The wind's kind of quartering it. The wind's hurting me.
Correct.
And I should take what, 5% off?
I would take 5%, especially taking
so about 10 yards off of it.
Yeah. So what's your
my 160 club?
160 club, 170 club back home?
Yeah, my 160 club is an 8-iron. I think I'll try to swing it because there's a lot of, I need to get the height, the elevation over that.
We'd rather you have a pitch in. So.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's try to hit a little bit of a draw. I'm not gonna attack that flag. Oh, I pulled it off too. I've got options here, and What would you do in this situation? What do you like?
I'm always more apt to get something on the ground.
Yeah.
A little sooner.
Yeah.
I would go that hybrid, or if you have what's that 50, just back in your stance, maybe. Control
Yeah. So the only thing is, like, I would land ordinarily, like, I don't want to bump and run that into the green there.
Okay.
So I think I'm just going to hit the hybrid. This is my abandon shot.
I love this.
Right? So, you know, I can basically just play it as a putt, and generally it will get all the way up there. It didn't quite get up there. Oh, it did.
You're going to be very happy with that.
Yeah.
Now you got a 7-8 footer right up the hill for par.
Yeah.
Very pleased.
Okay. But
Good shot to have, man.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing you kind of figure out is if you can just make it as easy as possible without thinking about anything else. Correct. So simplifying it, like that's it. That's the shot. And it took having a bunch of 15-foot, ridges you got to get over to teach you that.
Teach you how to keep it simple, right?
To teach you to keep it simple, yeah.
Right. And then the amateurs that grab the wedge.
They grab the wedge.
And then you're shorter the ridge, and now you're bringing in, right?
I just don't know where to land the wedge. Like I would really have to land it almost at the base of that, and then hope I have some check and
then it climbs and settles, right?
Right.
Right.
Whereas I could just do that and get myself 7 feet. So what do you like here?
Well, this is on that left-hand side where I feel like this is just gonna, if anything, it may gently ease back right.
Okay.
Pretty straight for the most part.
Okay. I mean, and I'm assuming, I'm trying to, what we just talked about, right? You talked about reading the horizon.
Correct.
The valley's going that way.
Exactly.
Okay. So yeah, and aim point didn't tell me much, but I think it told me left edge.
Yes, I would agree.
Right? And I think it told me downhill a little bit. I'm just gonna basically put it as a flat putt. Like we talk a lot about where is the slow part of this.
Okay.
I kind of want it taking the break right here.
I like that.
So I'm just gonna try to hit it right there. All right.
Put a good roll on it.
Yep. No. Pulled it a little bit, but yeah. I mean, so first hole, a golf course I haven't seen, and I gave myself a chance to save par. There was no stress there. I mean, it can't get easier to do than that. So we'll talk more about specific strategy at some of these cool holes at Wickenburg Ranch. But first, make sure you comment, tell us about your best experiences at a new golf course and what new golf courses you want us to see at the Edge. Go ahead and drop in the comments here.
Back at Papago, this is what happens when your 3-wood takes you on an adventure.
So the number one rule right now is, am I in trouble?
Yeah, which we are. But so you just got to get out. I mean, don't get too aggressive.
Yeah, it's 100% trouble.
Yeah. Just, it's
Like
a
if
little
it
60-yard
wasn't
shot.
for this bush, I'd think about it, but
No.
the bush is
make
here.
Sure you're left of that bush.
Well, you hit it in another bush, but
150. What you need? I like playing that number.
I need an 8 iron.
All right. So, big thing here too. I see a lot of people, they compound mistakes by trying to get it back.
Yeah.
We're not trying to go with this flag. Just get something in
Yeah.
the middle of the green.
Yeah, I'm gonna buzz the groundskeeper.
Oh yeah.
So, and I know you said, what's my 150 club?
Yep.
This is a lot of club for being in Arizona, but I don't want to hit it a lot. This stance is funky.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, and then four.
What? Oh, he moved into it. Oh, he just passed it.
Okay.
All right.
So I've hit it 3 times. That's it.
1, 2, 3. Yep.
So this is where you get a little funky, right?
Yeah.
That's running
Oh.
away from me completely, and those buttes are to my left.
Yeah.
So I think, and then I see its sheeny part, you know, maybe almost 3/4 of the way there.
Right.
So
So
that
that's
should
super
be
fast, even more.
super fast, running to my right a little bit.
Correct.
Okay.
So
So
a lot of this will be played on the ground. Like you got a lot of you're not gonna get a lot of spin on that, right?
yeah, that's the thing. That's why I was gonna hit the gap wedge or the sand wedge, but I just need loft to
Yeah.
stop this.
Exactly. Are you a spot putter? I mean chipper or no?
Yes. So I think my spot is probably 3 paces on.
That's where I was at. I was like
Yeah.
7 to 8 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, there you go.
That was it.
Yeah, that was. Now look at
Look
that.
at that.
There's the
Pull it
valley.
over. Look
There's
at-
the valley,
yeah.
right? But
Straightens out.
if I get it flag high, that's fine.
That was really good. I would
All right.
take that all day.
Yeah.
That valley pulled it a lot more than I thought.
You damn right it did. So this one's funky.
Yep.
Because this is a downhill putt
Yeah.
going right back up the hill.
Yeah, I think this is still going to be pretty quick. That not enough valley in the world to pull that. So you just got. This is what we talked about. Weight on short putts too. Pick
Yeah.
a good line and speed.
Yeah. So I think my spot where it's going to slow down is right there.
I
So
got you.
that's what I'm aiming
I like
at.
that. Oh, good
Yeah.
up and down.
Thank you.
That was nice.
Yeah. I mean, for a desert ball, I'll
Yeah,
take a
we'll
5.
take that. We'll get out of there.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was also good too. Like even your third shot, not getting too aggressive, short siding yourself here, bringing in a bigger number. You missed on the fatter side of the green, and were able to get up and down.
There you go.
That's it there.
Yeah, that'll
Oh,
work. 140 in.
Wind's a little off the right, slightly hurting, but I like a 45 shot.
Yeah, I think.
But
I
you sea
think-
level?
Yeah, I'm sea level,
It's
but
about 5%. So
yeah. So to me, this is a choke. This is my 45 club,
okay.
but I'm gonna choke down on it if this is a 140.
Yeah, for sure. What's the club right below that?
See, the club right below that is a gap wedge,
Oh no, okay.
and I don't want to. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want to max that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
I think this one you can be aggressive though. That's it.
oh, I hit it thin though.
Watching me for too long. It landed soft.
It did. Okay.
All right, what do you see here?
Uphill to start,
Yeah,
and then right about here, it's gonna start coming down, and it's sliding. I can feel it's going right, and then the valley's gonna take it right.
I like it. Yeah, most important part is that speed.
Yeah.
You want it out?
Yeah, you can pull it. Okay, so it's gonna be really uphill. I gotta almost play like a flat putt. So I'm aiming probably 2 cups right and maybe 2 feet short. I don't think that's getting there though.
No, that's perfect.
Look at it, it's in the
Look at that.
jaws.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good weight.
Yeah, that's the
a
weight,
good-
right?
yeah.
Like it really does just feel like I'm pushing it to that spot.
Yep. That's good there.
Yeah.
Back in Wickenburg, a good drive on the short par 4 6th hole leaves a great scoring opportunity.
Love the trajectory. Sand air.
Did that get through the fairway?
I believe you're going to be fine. I couldn't see it down, but
Yeah.
I like the trials and the line you're on. It was right on where I told you.
Yeah. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay, so yeah, it's about 40. Okay. Okay. Yep, I can get it there. Okay. No, I didn't get it up there.
Just shy of it. Yeah. Right idea and approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely going left, just a little bit.
First part of that putt's going to push it right.
Yep.
And then back left, I think.
Yep, okay. And it's uphill. So just get it there. That's, you know, I've had problems with, you know, big ridges, but this is a uphill putt that I think I can just hit with a good feel.
I agree.
Never really moved.
Never really moved at all.
Okay. Yeah. This is gorgeous. I see why you said it's a signature.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll talk you through it. Like from this tee box we're at, it's 243.
Yeah.
Predominantly downhill, right? But to your point, what you're pointed at and what you see is the water. But to your point of where the prevailing wind is pushing us, you got bailout to the left.
Yeah.
So your goal is something along the left side, left center of the green.
Yeah. Give
yourself a manageable putt at birdie and hopefully walk away with your par.
The number one rule, right, is don't cut it into the wind. That's the one thing Andy keeps telling me. Don't cut it into that wind.
Don't cut it into that wind. What are you visualizing here?
Cutting it into that wind?
No.
I mean, here's what I'm visualizing. I'm visualizing, see where that bunker line goes, like where it extends down, maybe like halfway through the green. I just want to aim it down that, and if it slides a little right, it slides right.
I like that visual.
Yeah.
When I'm having an elevated tee to a green that sits low, I'm picking something on my eye line.
Yeah.
So you see that red roof?
No, precisely. Yep.
There you go.
I love that.
Same line,
yeah.
but different vantage point.
Yep.
You got
love that. Well, so here's the thing now. Now I'm doing math. So 243 center.
Correct. 243 center.
243 center. Let's see.
But max fly we need in the air is something in the 215.
215 is in the air. Yeah. This is a. Well, see, I got to hit this. This is my 4 hybrid, so this is going to fly like 205. Man, I can't cut this. Okay.
I think that prevailing wind will help you out. I think you got plenty.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'm gonna get a little bit more aggressive than is prudent. So no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I am going to stay on the line that I talked about.
Center of the green. Great swing.
That is.
It's so flush. So flush. And you had plenty. Well, look at that. It's got the slope is gonna just on the fringe there. It's perfect.
That's fine. Yeah. You wouldn't ever think about chipping this, would you?
I would not. I would not.
Yeah.
And
I would agree.
You agree?
I agree.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So what I see a low point of the valley. I see water here. So that's going right to left. Right? That's just pretty clear.
It's a 2-part putt. You see it as well, right?
I do. So the first third of it, well, you know what's funny? I do see a 2-part putt, but I don't see him doing much different.
It doesn't do much different. It's just the speed is going to take out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So I think I have my speed. I think I have my spot.
Okay.
So the last visual is just where my spot is and then get it to that spot.
I think you're going to like that one. Settle.
Oh, yeah, that's speed-wise, I think it's fine.
That's perfect. Excellent judge.
Okay.
Well judged.
So I can judge downhill a lot better than I can judge
uphill.
But yeah, thank you. This
is huge.
This is beautiful,
Paradise.
right? This is paradise. It's gorgeous, and you just get back to that sense of, okay, what are you seeing with your eyes? What are you feeling? Because that's a putt, I've never seen that. I don't know what it's going to, but you have to rely on that natural feel.
100%. I've seen you hit 3 or 4 different shots from around these greens as well, and that's you taking it in your feel and what you feel comfortable with. But you can hit so many different shots around here, right? And it's excellent. It's a good test of the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Thank
Thanks,
you. Make sure you hit your comments. Tell us what you think about this golf course.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a really cool hole, isn't it?
it's just absolutely fantastic.